Well, hello there, and welcome to the 10th video diary. It's nice because it's the 10th of February today, and it's week 10. So I've had 10 directing classes so far. It feels like there's been so many more. I feel like I've learned much more than I thought I would in only 10 classes, because it is only 10 classes, even though it's every second week and so much more time has passed. Like more than 10 weeks has passed, but it feels so much longer than that. And today we had a wonderful director come in and work with us, Louise Lowe, and I've definitely heard her name before. I know she does a lot of work in Ireland, or she's, a well-known name in the theatre world in Ireland, so it was exciting to actually, put a face to the name and actually see who this person was. And I remember when I just walked into the room, I was terrified. She looked so serious and intense, and I just thought, oh God, please, I don't want to hate her. She looked so scary and intimidating. But then she started speaking, and she was so passionate and wonderful that I was like, I love her. This is great. I can't wait to see what else she says. So yeah, it was pretty great. She taught us about, she told us all about her kind of work, what she feels passionate about doing. That was really inspiring and made me, inspiring sounds so sappy, even though I do use that word quite a lot in my life. But it was encouraging. She also hates making theater in traditional spaces, so traditional theaters. And even though part of me is such a traditionalist and I love theaters as buildings and as venues, and I want my own theater one day, I can totally understand the allure or the benefits of doing theater in a non-traditional space. And she was just so passionate about doing all her work, and it was fantastic to hear. I love how she speaks. I love that she's all about, the truth, true stories, talking to real people, telling real stories, being honest and open, because that's all I want to promote also, just generally, not just in theater. I'm a really open and honest person, and I really want to promote other people being open and honest and being able to have open conversations about things, especially about things that people still find it like a taboo to talk about. Louise was she seems like a very, I don't know, not rebellious lady, but she definitely has, she doesn't play by the rules, which was great. And yeah, she was encouraging, made me want to just stop being such a bloody lazy and anxious ball of worry and just keep pushing myself out of my comfort zone. And really just after this directing project that I have to do for this course, which is a whole other thing. I'm experiencing a whole pile of things about that whole project right now. Trying to sort that out and be a professional director about it. I lost my trail of thought, which happens a lot with me. I think I was talking about how Louise kind of made me feel like I should continue pushing myself out of my comfort zone, and just to make theater, not to try and fit into, she literally told us, don't try and fit into the system of theater or the institution that we have, to just make your own, which was lovely. And I really liked hearing that. She kind of helped me feel a bit better about directing, just because she was so honest about how she hasn't a clue what she's doing sometimes, that it's all trial and error, it's all kind of made up as it goes along. You learn and you change as a person and as a theater maker. It was nice to hear. It's worse when you hear, experts in a field kind of make you feel really miserable and, terrible about your achievements, if they're telling you how you know, how much they know, how much of an expert they are, and how difficult it is to get to that level, and how much work you have to do to get to that. Yeah, like you should put in work into every area, like into any area that you want to excel in or work in or create in, sure, but I want to know that even professionals and experts struggle and make mistakes, and that it's always difficult, especially in a creative career. I like hearing that. I, I mean, my brain does not shut up. I haven't slept for 3 weeks, like properly, because I've been so anxious about the directing project and first time directing and everything. My brain will not shut up and give me a break. Just the anxieties just keeping me awake and popping up and screaming at me. So hearing a professional who's successful and well known, you know, kind of say things that like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing, or it's always kind of, you know, it's always starting from scratch. Yeah, I did really like her. I love passionate people, and she really does love what she does. And she's a very like hard ass woman. You can tell she'd be a really intense and excellent director that's, you know, no bullshit whatsoever, which you need to be as a woman director, I think. And, you know, it's obviously still problematic that we have to say, you know, male director and female director sometimes. But, you know, until we have more female or women directors. Today we came up with, let's see, I don't know, 3 ideas for plays, I think it was. So a lot of thinking today again, which, like I said in the last diary, when you're made to specifically sit down and think and brainstorm ideas and come up with something on the spot, like I can feel my brain working, and then I get so tired because I'm so drained after constantly thinking and trying to take so much information in. Which is crazy because you think we're always thinking, but I can literally feel my brain like winding down after these classes. And I always have difficulty making these diaries just because I can't collect my thoughts and I'm so tired. Today, another wonderful thing happened. One of our exercises was to get really intimate with a person, meaning that we got into pairs with someone who we don't normally work with or collaborate with in class. And before I even got to look for someone, a lovely lady in my class called Emily came up to me and kind of jumped in front of me and was like, "Oh, I want to work with you." And that was really cute and really sweet, and she's lovely, so I was like, yeah, great. I never get to talk to her. And Louise gave us exercises. We had to do the whole just stand there and stare at each other for about a minute or two, you know, just that single minute just staring at each other, and I couldn't stop laughing. I was just really giddy. Just, you know, what happens when we get uncomfortable and stuff. She said something very interesting that was, you know, like how, like, what do we ask actors to do but to be looked at? You know, people stare at them. That's the whole point. They perform and people look at them on the stage, and yet we found it so difficult to just look at each other. And every time this is brought up in, like, you know, in a classroom situation, or someone in a YouTube video does it or something, where people are made to sit and stare at a stranger or something, and people get so uncomfortable. Eye contact is so intense and so intimate, but yet that's what, you know, you want your audience to have with the actors on stage, or that they're always looking at the actors. So that was interesting. And then we closed our eyes and we were asked to feel our partner's hands and examine them with closed eyes to know them very well. And then we walked around the room and tried to find our partners with closed eyes just by touching people's hands. Another thing that forced us to get really intimate, and it's quite uncomfortable and strange, and going around feeling people's hands is a weird sensation, especially when you're also worried about bumping into other people and things because your eyes are closed. But that was interesting, and I found Emily pretty quickly, and we were very happy with ourselves. And then we went off and had to ask 3 interesting questions and kind of interview each other. And we sat there and had a very deep and meaningful chat, and it was just so touching and humbling. We talked about our mental health, our traumatic experiences, even though there's such an age gap between us. We both had a sort of breakdown of our old selves moment and things falling apart, and then that kind of traumatic life event, rebuilding who you, yeah, recreating a new you, I suppose, to live a better life currently. We both had that kind of thing, even though it was very different situations. Emily almost cried. We got we got teary. It was just a really humbling and human experience, and it was just connecting to someone, and it was fantastic, and I really enjoyed the chat with her. And then we had to come up with a sort of image, how you would stage the person, what the person told you, without revealing what they told you. So that was interesting, and we came up with a lot of very interesting images and concepts that you could just sit down and write these 14 plays there and then. So that was interesting. And Louise told us more about the difference between site responsive, site specific, and off-site theater, because she's very, very specific, or she feels very strongly about using direct terminology. And yeah, she was just very intense and very hands-on, and did encourage me to just do stuff. So that's the scary thing, because I'm good at like coming up with ideas and visuals in my head and beautiful pictures, things I want things to look like, things I want to do, but I'm so terrible at actually starting to do these things. Like last year, my personal goal was to push myself outside my comfort zone as much as I can. Doing this project, I'm auditioning people tomorrow, and that's severely outside my comfort zone, and I'm gonna try and fake it till I make it with these actors that I audition and cast, hopefully, for as long as I can until the date comes for staging my play. I don't know what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to just continue shoving yourself outside your comfort zone, not think about it, just set yourself tasks, and know that by pushing yourself outside the comfort zone, you are really growing as a person, and everything you build now is going to help build your personality and your strength and help in the future. And I believe in that, but it's so hard when you have a lot of really loud demons, or whatever you want to call them, in your head constantly. They're so loud and they won't shut up, and they're always there. And so I'm battling a lot of self-doubt and these things, whatever you want to call them, in your head. But yeah, I'm starting my directing journey officially now, auditioning people. Gonna be sitting in a room with my 2 director friends who have very kindly helped me, or agreed to help me out in the auditions. So thank you, Michelle and Kit. And I have 6 actors coming in because 2 couldn't make it. And I'm gonna audition them for the first time in my life, auditioning people. And I really hope it goes well, and I find myself my 3 male leads. And then we just get started with rehearsals, and we're straight into just the deep end with rehearsals, because they're more terrifying than the auditions, obviously. There we go. Interesting day of class. Yeah, because these diaries were meant to be more reflective, because we're supposed to keep a learning journal, and I didn't want to keep just a written learning journal. So yeah, Louise taught me that we have to think about why we are staging things now. She's very focused on what is happening socially and reacting to that, or asking questions about what is happening in the world right now, or in the world we live in, and why is it important to stage whatever you're staging now. I think I just need to think deeper about things I'll want to put on stage. I want to be aware. I want to ask lots of questions. It's just I worry that I won't have the questions. But I'll end it here. Thank you for being here. To whoever you wonderful people are who watch these stupid diaries, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for watching and listening and following me on this journey, even though it's only beginning. Right. Bye.